Welcome back. It's time now for sports news. Here's Charles Aruka.
Welcome to Sports News. Coach Sunday Olise has suffered his first defeat as coach of the Super Eagles as his team lost 2-0 to the Democratic Republic of Congo in an international friendly played in Belgium. Goals from Diamersi Mbokani and Jordan Nkololo gave Congo victory over the former African champions who were unable to score despite having a depth and large share of possession. After conceding 2 early goals, the Super Eagles lacked coordination and failed to create goal-scoring chances. Coach Olise will be hoping the team improves as they prepare to take on the indomitable Lions of Cameroon on Sunday. Meanwhile, Vincent Enyeama has confirmed he is quitting international football with the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Speaking to Channel Sports from his base in France, Enyeama said he does not want to disrupt the ongoing rebuilding process of coach Sunday Olise. The Lille shot-stopper believes it's not professionally right for him to remain in the current setup of the senior national team. The 33-year-old's decision came after coach Sunday Olise replaced him as captain with Ahmed Musa only hours before the match in Belgium. He insists his decision was taken in the best interest of the country, while promising to consider a return to the team if it's the right decision to take. And in England, Jurgen Klopp has been appointed Liverpool's new manager on a 3-year deal. Klopp replaces Brendan Rodgers, who was sacked on Sunday after 3.5 years in charge with the club 10th in the Premier League. The 48-year-old German has been out of work since May when he ended a 7-year spell at Borussia Dortmund to take a sabbatical. He's expected to have Zeljko Buvac and Peter Kravitz, his former assistants at the Bundesliga club at Anfield. Meanwhile, Cameroon's Issa Hayatou has been named as the new acting FIFA president, making him the first African to lead world football's governing body. As mandated by Article 32(6) of the FIFA statutes, Hayatou, as the longest-serving vice president on FIFA's executive committee, will serve as acting president of FIFA. Following the suspension of Jérôme Valcke, all operational business matters will be continued to be overseen by Marcus Katner, the acting general secretary. Well, FIFA President Sepp Blatter has responded to his provisional suspension from the World Football Governing Body, claiming that the Ethics Committee did not follow the Code of Ethics and Disciplinary Code. Blatter, along with UEFA President Michel Platini and FIFA General Secretary Jérôme Valcke, was suspended for 90 days earlier today following approval by FIFA's adjudicatory chamber of a recommendation made by the Ethics Committee. The sanctions against Blatter can be extended by up to 45 days. The 79-year-old has denied any wrongdoing, and a statement released by his lawyers questioned the conduct of the Ethics Committee. To tennis now, world number 1 Novak Djokovic is through to the quarter-final of the China Open in Beijing. The Serbian eased past the challenge of Zhejiang 6-2, 6-1 in just 55 minutes. The omens were not good for the home player when Djokovic broke at the first time of asking, opening a 3-game lead in the blink of an eye. Djokovic will face American 6th seed John Isner, who beat qualifier John Millman. That's it on Sports News. Amarachi will be back with the rest of the news at 10.
This is the ultimate redefined for men.
Away from sports news, U.S. military officials are saying that 4 Russian cruise missiles supposedly headed towards Syria landed instead in Iran. They were fired from the Russian flotilla on the Caspian Sea. Iran has reported an unknown flying object that crashed into the village of Gozapan in the province of West Azerbaijan, which is said to be under the missile's flight path. In the meantime, today, Rwandan President Paul Kagame could run for a 3rd term as the Supreme Court rules in favor of his eligibility. Adishawa Josh has more.
The Supreme Court in Rwanda has ruled in favor of changing the constitution to allow President Paul Kagame to stand for a third 7-year term in 2017. Rwanda, however, plans to hold a referendum to see whether the public supports a constitutional amendment to lift the current 2-year term limits on presidents. The court says it will be undemocratic to deny people the right to choose how they are governed. Failed asylum seekers in Europe will have to look elsewhere because the EU has decided to beef up its border force Frontex in order to speed up deportations. The EU Interior Minister also called for more effective readmission deals with countries of origin outside the EU so that more migrants can go home. The conclusions from their talk said EU states should detain migrants who may abscond before they are deported. Finally, NATO has renewed assurances to defend allies in view of the escalation of Russian military activities in Syria. Jens Stoltenberg said defense ministers had decided to boost response forces to be able to deploy troops speedily. NATO member Turkey has complained that Russian jets have violated its airspace recently. That's the foreign news wrap-up. It's back to you, Amarachi.
Thanks a lot, Adeshawa. And the main news again. As the Senate prepares for Tuesday's screening of ministerial nominees, the lawmakers have insisted that only candidates endorsed by senators from nominees' constituencies would be cleared. The House of Representatives is to open investigations into the $470 million CCTV contract awarded in 2010. 4 Russian cruise missiles fired at Syria have hit a wrong target, landing in Iran. That's the news at 10 tonight. Thanks for watching. I am Amarachi Ubani. Good night.